Hey, good morning, everybody. You got your cup of coffee? You got your hot tea? Whatever it is you imbibe in, it's a glorious, beautiful Saturday morning, and we have got a lot to cover with you. Lots of bluefin tuna over the 100-pound mark. Copious amounts of yellowfin tuna south of the border. Dorado back in the picture for the one-day guys out of San Diego, and so much more. I mean, it's going to be a crazy weekend. I can tell you that right now. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, everybody. Oh, that is so good. Hey, it is great to be back with you all again. I hope you are having a great start to your weekend. If you're not out on the water catching lots of fish, I hope you are having a really lovely morning. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time to spend with all of us here this morning. All of us as a group, the Friedman Adventure family, doing great stuff in the community, enjoying the great outdoors, and still experiencing some outstanding fishing as we start to push toward Halloween and into November. I don't see an end in sight. It's looking really, really good. If you don't mind, if you could hit that thumbs up button right now, it really helps us a lot in the algorithm. It pushes us up and up and up. So give us a like, and I appreciate all that you do in terms of sharing these videos. If you have a friend, well, I know you have a friend, but if you have a friend who likes to fish, let's qualify it that way, please send them a video. And if you haven't subscribed already, give us a subscription. All of those things really help the Friedman Adventure cause. All right, let's talk about a few things that we have coming up. Number one, a week from today, we are going to be over in La Mirada, and we're going to be going through many of the donations that we have for Baja, California. Not only Baja, but we're going to go further down into Mexico, and we're going to divide all of those things. So we're going to separate it into children's clothes and adult clothes and medical supplies, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you'd like to help on a Saturday morning, who knows how long it'll go, just send me a text at 657-227-6459. We'll all get together, have some fun, and divide up all of these donations. It may take more than a day, but we'll see, because I haven't walked back there for a long time. What I do is, with my busy schedules, I drive up and I offload all of the great stuff we have, and thanks to Joe Gallagher over there at Gallagher Staging in La Mirada, he takes care of it. They bring a forklift out, take it, wrap it all up. I mean, the guys at Gallagher Staging are amazing people for all the help they give us, and then we're able to help everybody else. So that's going to be next Saturday. If you can do it, you want further details, let me know. Tonight was supposed to be our relentless trip out of H&M Landing. We were all excited, couldn't wait to go. And then, unfortunately, the boat lost a transmission. Mikey Franchek, the guy that runs the boat, poor guy. I mean, you got to feel bad for him. He has to cancel several trips. That transmission's going to be thousands of dollars, and he's going to be down. And then I extend all of my sorrow, or I extend my, I would just want to say I'm sorry to everybody who had scheduled the trip and made plans. Only a couple guys are not going to jump on the next trip, but we are going to have a couple openings, it looks like, and the next trip is going to be really good. Great. So let me tell you about the reschedule. If you want a couple of spots, you better move now. So that'll be November the 18th, which is a Friday night departure, back in on a Sunday morning, still a day and a half trip, still $450, includes all your meals. And Mikey Franchek said, you know what? I am really sorry about having to reschedule. How about I cover all your beer and all of your soft drinks? All of that is thanks to Mikey. So that's the deal. So if you'd like to get on that one, that's 657-227-6459. That won't last very long with a deal like that. And do I think fishing is going to continue? For what it's worth, you know, my predictions, I should say it's going to be terrible, right? It's going to be awful. Don't even think about going. And it'll be wide open wahoo or something. Well, anyway, I think it's going to continue to bite. but that's just a prediction, okay? But we saw that big bluefin bite right on into December last year, so I see no reason that is not going to continue. It's looking really, really good. All right, let me get into it with you. Let me take you south of the border. Things were a little dicey after that wind, and let me just say that we are going to have a little bit of breezy situations. Breezy, not horrible, okay? Just a little breeze here out there near Tanner Bank, out there near that Butterfly Bank, out there where that bluefin is, and even down the Baja coast. And then on Monday-ish, Tuesday-ish, man, it just goes to absolutely gorgeous weather and goes to flat calm. So I just wanted to throw that in. Down there in Ensenada, we love the pongueros who fish out of there. I love crossing the border. I love the ambience of Mexico Lindo. I just like the whole thing. And down there, Victor, out of Punta Banda, and of course, in that neck of the woods, you will see some of the most picturesque, gorgeous scenery you could ever imagine. Blackfin charters or blackfin sport fishing down there continues to hammer out some really great catches. They're finding good amounts of yellowfin tuna down in an area we call the lower 500. They've been running down there and they are getting them. Nice fishing on nice grade yellowfin tuna. Again, if they have the good weather, I'm telling you right now, Ignacio Duarte is one of the captains down there. He is all over it, a great captain indeed, and he just continues to hammer out great yellowfin tuna fishing. A lot of that fish is on the troll, so you're trolling feathers and getting bit on that, but you can catch them on the iron. I love Daiwa Zacanas, like 80 gram is going to work really, really well for you. Also, bait fishing is very effective. You can throw stick baits and get bit. Yellowfin tuna are pretty voracious, and they'll bite just about anything you throw at them. They really like to chew the paint off the boat when they're in that biting mode, and they seem to be in that mode right now. Now, also down there out of Blackfin, Captain Russo, he was took a couple guys out, a lady and a guy, I think it was, and they did some local spear fishing, and that was productive also. They got quite a bit of viejas, those are sheep's head, and pretty good fishing down there in that neck of the woods, as well as spear fishing, all kinds of great activity. So warm water, 68 degrees, lower 500, producing good yellowfin tuna. And do we see that reflected in what the San Diego boats are doing? You had better believe it. Excuse me. Great fishing, especially if you're on a 3.5 day trip, but you don't have to be. Day and a half fishing has been great also, but some of those 3.5 day trips have been all over, like the Top Gun 80, 22 guys, 3.5, 240 yellowfin tuna, 12 Dorado, 7 yellowtail. On board the Ranger 85, there were over 300 yellowfin tuna. So this bite continues to progress and head in the right direction, and I don't see anything slowing it down. And you know, the perplexing thing about all of this is that we are in a La Nina year. A La Nina year normally is characterized by cooler water. That's why I made my dumb albacore prediction. And what happened? We have the historic, most prolific bite you've ever seen on Dorado in the LA Orange County area, and even down there in northern Baja and down in southern California, I mean down there on the border. It was absolutely incredible. And Dorado are a warm water species, so you just never know in this game what is going to happen. It is absolutely crazy. Old Glory on a day and a half trip, 25 guys, 52 yellowfin tuna. Nice hit for them on board the Mission Belle. Now, those are the guys that leave in the morning, come back in the evening. You know, San Diego fleet, like you have the San Diego, the Grande, the Mahi-mahi, the Mission Belle in this case. Now, remember, a lot of those guys were kind of steering away from the offshore scene. And in fact, for example, the San Diego is going to be fishing the Coronado Islands starting November 1st. They may change that, but that was the last thing I heard out of them. And I said, I don't think they're finished on this offshore stuff. Mission Belle yesterday, 26 guys, limits of Dorado and a bluefin to go along with it. And those guys are seeing a lot of tuna that don't want to bite right now. So that is really great news for sure. 25-pound and 40-pound fluorocarbon. www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. You'll get a love note from Greg Brown, the owner, as well as a free gift. Make sure you do that, and make sure you've got plenty of fluoro because it works really, really, really good. Hook sizes, you definitely want to have blacktail hooks, and you want to go from a number 2 size to a 2.0 size. This is the bare minimum. And of course, if you're going to fish this big bluefin tuna, you definitely want to have a 2-speed reel. We like Daiwa, of course, and of course you want to have at least 100-pound spectra. I like 130, and you want to have leader material that is like 200-pound, and then knife jigs and flatfalls and Daiwa SKs all in the 200 to 500 gram range, and that should get it done. And the reason why I say this is because there was a phenomenal catch made on the Thunderbird. I mean, long range style fishing in our own backyard. I know that's getting thrown around a lot this year, but it is so true. It is absolutely some of the most incredible fishing you could ever imagine. Thunderbird had 25 bluefin tuna over 100 pounds, all tailed up in the stern. It looks like something you'd catch on the XL on an 18-day trip. How can you beat that? They also had a 207-pound bluefin tuna mixed in there with it, 5 yellowfin to go along with it. Incredible fishing. Some of this stuff going on in the daytime, some of it going on at night. The nighttime is going to be the jigs and the heavy tackle. The daytime is going to be fishing a live bait and a really live bait. Okay, so choose a really good hot bait and try to get a bite on 60-pound at least. Sometimes those daytime fish are very finicky and they won't bite the heavy stuff, so you're going to have to fool around with the 40-pound sometime, and man, you get onto a really big fish, you're going to be in trouble. 100-pounder, 40-pound, yeah, you can catch that. You can put the screws to a fish like that. Now, there's going to be a lot of casualties because those are big, tough fish, but you can really put the screws to them fishing the heavier line, and that on the Thunderbird is absolutely magnificent. Now, out there on Tanner Bank, there is also a nice mix of bluefin out there, and I think that's going to get going again. The water degraded, temperatures dropped, but we're getting it back. We're going to get a little breeze out there here today and tomorrow, but then it's going to calm down and be nice. The Dorado was out there and had 1 bluefin tuna, but copious amounts of rockfish, and that's one thing about that region of Southern California. You can fall back on that rockfish, and that is really good news. So some outstanding fishing going on, I'm telling you right now. The San Diego was out, and he was goofing around, reporting gorgeous weather down that Baja coast. They're not going to get as much wind. They're going to stay with pretty good weather, just a little breeze coming up. Gorgeous weather, but slow fishing for the San Diegos. They had 1 bluefin, 2 Dorado, 27 bonita, but working hard at it. And as I said, they're going to switch over and start fishing the Coronado Islands, which I'll cover with you right now. So really some outstanding offshore opportunities. It's looking good. By the way, an incredibly great seminar on wahoo fishing. Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California, put on a clinic yesterday, and it's available right now for you. Make sure at the end of today's morning briefing, you go over and watch that. And if you're not into wahoo fishing or you're not going to jump on a long range boat, there's something you can learn from all of those techniques and tips that Sam will give you. You can always learn something and apply what you do in wahoo fishing to other types of fishing. So be ready to adapt. And remember, in this sport fishing game right now, you have to be really observant. And one way you can be observant or kind of cheat a little bit is by making a friend on the crew. Talk to a crew member on the way out, make a friend, tip those guys good, and then when you get into a bite, you look at them and you say 25 or 40, 60, what do I use? Have that conversation, and then you're ready to go. Get into the water fast. When the captain says drop with those knife jigs at night, drop fast. Joseph Martinez and his lovely wife Grace, good morning Grace. Joe is outstanding fisherman and even a better person. And Joe says one of the keys, and he has a 315 pounder this year, is dropping when the captain says to drop. So keep that in mind. So the Pongueros down in Ensenada are getting the yellowfin tuna. The San Diego boys who go that way are getting them. And that shot of fish on the Thunderbird was remarkable. Really, really outstanding stuff. All right, let me now take you to the islands down there, Todos Santos, which is right off Ensenada. Remember, Ensenada is about a 60-mile drive from the Mexican-American border south. There's some really good yellowtail action there at times. It's very inconsistent. A lot of bonita, and then you can catch sheepshead and whitefish and some nice lings down there in addition to that. Coronado Islands, we'll get more of a look at it here shortly as the San Diego, I think, is going to fish it, but that Mission Bell score was a good one, and that offshore thing is not over by a long shot out of San Diego. But that bite at the Coronado Islands has been good. It's a fall bite. Those yellows are deep right now, so you're fishing yo-yo iron, and you're also fishing heavier line, like 40-pound, and you can also get a bite on the bait, but down deep on a dropper loop. Fun fishing, man. Feels like somebody takes a big hammer and just whacks your bait, and you feel that, and then you set the hook. That is fun fishing, and in most cases you can get away with a little bit heavier line. That 25 to 40 should be just fine on those kinds of trips. Up at San Clemente Island, we'll continue to see a little bit of yellowtail there. One day it's good, one day it's very poor. There's bass and bonita there. Catalina, bass and bonita, occasional shot of yellowtail, mostly rockfish in that neck of the woods. And then Santa Barbara, windy, but coming way down and going to be nice Monday, Tuesday-ish. There's yellow sea bass there. Same thing in the Channel Islands, where we have copious amounts of colorful rockfish awaiting your angling pleasure up there in that neck of the woods. Along the beach, nothing outstanding, a little bit of bass here and there. I'll get a look at it later this morning, as I'll be down there at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing with a group of kids, as we're going to go out and make a trip. I don't have to race off to San Diego right after it. That's what the plan was, get off of there and then jump on the Relentless. But we've rescheduled, as you well know, to November the 18th. Couple spots, I think, is all we have right now. We'll see if anybody else cancels and can't make it because they can't reschedule. But again, remember, all your drinks, beer, sodas, everything, all your food, day and a half leaving on a Friday night now. Give me a text, please, if you want to go on that trip. So along the coast, mostly rockfish, all the way up into the Channel Islands. Surf fishing, occasional halibut. Lucky crab lures working pretty well right now, but chrome crocodile is a great way for you to get a little bite on your line. It works really, really well, and it's gorgeous here this morning. As I look out there, I mean, the tide may not be right, but it's okay for halibut fishing. And if you toss way out there fishing a natural bait like a sandworm or a sand crab, you got a good shot at catching a nice spot fin croaker. I know down on Bolsa Chica, they've been doing just that. Don't miss that Wahoo video. Sam, as usual, did an outstanding job. I know you're going to like that. And of course, we'll keep you in touch with all the very latest, not only here on the morning briefing, but as the channel expands into next year, we're going to be adding some new shows and more coverage as Friedman Adventures continues to grow, all thanks to you. Smash that like button. Thanks again for joining me. Spend a little bit of time. Enjoy your coffee, tea, or whatever it is you are enjoying this morning. And one more thing, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.